Favorite TV dad, wow, Julius from Everybody Hates Chris. Because now that I pay bills and I be taking care of other people, like, it really matters. Turn the lights off, the electric bill is high. Turn the gas off, the gas bill is high. Stop buying, you don't need no clothes, you need 2 pairs of sneakers for the whole year. Stop doing too much with y'all money, giving it to companies. Keep it for your household. So yeah, Julius.
Hey, you know who my favorite? Terry Crews and Everybody Hates Chris. He was so damn cheap. I loved it. He was the greatest provider. He always had 2 jobs. I love Terry Crews' character and Everybody Hates Chris. Yes, he's so relatable too. And Oscar Proud. Oscar Proud.
I'm gonna have to go with my dad on House of Pain. We've been shooting since 2007. We got over 350 episodes, so I would have to say LaVan Davis, Curtis Payne.
I know.
Was it My Brother and Me? The dad from My Brother and Me. I love that show. Yeah.
Billy Baker. Shout out Billy Baker. Shout out Tay Diggs. Honestly.
I don't know why it popped in my head, but I was like Bryan Cranston on Breaking Bad. I was like, you know, he did it for his family. He started the whole thing because he was trying to, you know, to provide for his family. I can understand that, like having to go to extremes to provide for your family.
I'll say James from Good Times. I love. He was a strong character. He was always there for his family. Nobody can mess with his family, and he was a disciplinarian, and he always had the best interests of his kids.
John Amos on Good Times, you know, just as an everyday man that was doing his best to hold it down, you know, and he did it with such beautiful authenticity and strength.
Good Times. James is about the most believable dad in the world, like, out of everybody, like, John Amos, right? Yeah, shout out to John, yeah.
Robert Townsend by far, like, you know what I mean? Like, just the parenthood, it reminds me of the kind of father that I wanted, somebody who had like a little gravitas, humor, sensitive, gentle, caring, nurturing, all those different things.
I'm Coach Taylor from Friday Night.
Uncle Phil. He was a real one. I mean, we're talking about a judge. We're talking about somebody who's been through law school, has been a lawyer, and then he becomes a judge, but then he's also building like the biggest foundation for his family. We know where he comes from, we know where he has ended up, and we know the kind of person the people that he's raising. And then on top of that, the decision to take in his wife's nephew and raise him is like beyond. When a man is going to take in someone that's not his biologically or something that he's agreed to raising this young man in the last years of his life before he enters the world. Uncle Phil.
Uncle Phil.
Uncle Phil from Fresh Prince.
Yeah, Uncle Phil was legendary.
Might have to be Uncle Phil.
Am I tripping? Was Bernie Mac a dad? He took the kids in, so he's a father, because there's all types of dads, you know? There's dads and then there's fathers. And the fathers take care of their kids and love them and teach them something. Bernie Mac is like the most hilarious dad alive, so I love Bernie Mac.
I think Heathcliff Huxtable was the greatest depiction of a black father I've ever seen on television. I feel like Heathcliff was loving, caring, responsible, integrous, and I think that he taught a lot of lessons that a lot of black families needed to learn. The entire Huxtable family was that for me. I'm sad that the legacy has been tarnished now, but that show was necessary, and I think that show is still necessary. So I'm going with Heathcliff Huxtable. Heathcliff.
I'm piggybacking off that answer.
Yeah.
Look, I despite his flaws off camera, Bill Cosby. Heathcliff Huxtable, I completely relate to. And Fred Sanford. Yeah, you big dummy. That's what, you know, he's like, he reminds me of both Bill or Heathcliff and Red, both remind me of my own father.
Heathcliff was my favorite character. He was fantastic. Heathcliff.
As Heathcliff, he reminded me so much of my dad, the way he taught his children, you know. He made them think for themselves, and that's what I appreciated about that show.
I got to go straight to Bill because...
Can we say that?
Yeah, we're going to damn this. He did a lot. I'm saying it because he built a huge empire, and for black people on TV at that time, there were none. And to show a family doing well, don't forget we're coming off of the good times and the struggles, and I would say Bill Cosby, because as a dad, he had his family and everything. He had his office downstairs. It was just a great time. So he was my fictional dad on television.
I'm in a weird spot because my real dad is also a fictional dad in a way.
Yeah.
So I think about that a little bit, and I don't know. I'm because I can't think of one that I have. So I'm gonna stick with that. I'm gonna stick with that one. And
Really?
It's weird
On
because
Blackish, is that the part?
yes and no, but like because what you said about seeing a father or seeing a parent be successful in TV and not have to struggle and all that kind of stuff is what I got to experience watching my dad on Blackish, which is different because it's real and fake at the same time. But that's my answer.
Phil Dunphy on Modern Family.
The first one that came to mind was Carl Winslow.
Carl Winslow was a great TV dad. Family Matters, he felt like my father. He was loving, he gave you moments. You know what I'm saying? Oh, then you got Uncle Phil. Don't make me choose. It's like Sophie's Choice for Negroes. I'm gonna go with Uncle Phil. Uncle Phil was stern, but he was still a brother. And I think we all grew up on him, if that makes any sense.
Oh, I've had a lot of favorite TV dads, from the great Red Fox's Fred Sanford, who is also a TV dad, clearly John Amos as James Evans, Sherman Hemsley as Mr. Jefferson. I mean, we've had quite a few. And clearly, there's a polarizing figure now today that was always sort of the quintessential TV dad, being Bill Cosby. But aside of, there were so many more for me to be able to kind of see and be inspired by.